Well. Welcome back to week number 2 of the F1 Racing League. Back again after episode 1 here. And after episode 1, figured it would just make sense to have episode 2 kind of play out pretty quick. This episode, because of the length of it, is just going to be one race of the 2 this week. And the second race will be posted probably in a few days of this one, that you can expect it. So this episode, realized it was going to take a while. So in that case, why not make 2 separate episodes, make it a little easier to watch. So last time we were out, the last race we had, didn't finish too bad. Scooped a few points, as we always saw. And this week, looking to make a bit of a challenge. This week was actually one of the more interesting weeks that I did have. And this week and both races were both. Well, you'll see what all went down in this crazy hectic week. So let's get right into it. Race number 1 is going to be taken in one of the great little tracks of Bahrain. As you can see here, finishing time was putting up 2 purple sectors from P6. And unfortunately just took that last turn second last turn, a little too far outside. Unfortunately, the lap was invalid. And this would actually end up being our second last attempt here. And put up a green sector in the final one. We were actually 3/4 of a second quicker. Just about 7/10 quicker. Turns out that lap would have actually put us in the second row. Would have actually put us in third. But here we go on the final lap. Delta's not looking too bad. We're a little bit ahead of time. Only issue that we do have is our teammate is right in front of us. Yes, we are getting a little bit of a tow, but we are beating them on pace. So it'd be great to be able to maybe get past them if they are running a little slow on this lap. I don't think it will happen. But here we are, 2/10 quicker. Heading into the latter part of the second sector here. Making half decent time, and it's tough to tell in that view, but we just went off the track a little bit. Invalidated lap time yet again. So 7th was the best we could finish on this lap. I also did not want to mess up my teammate a whole lot here, so I did hit the brakes a little bit just to make sure he knows I'm not trying to run him down. And hopefully he could actually better his time and maybe push one of the top guys, but it is unfortunate. That purple sector lap would have been great to have, and to start our what would be 3rd race in a high position would have been very lovely. It is unfortunate, and our teammate does end up finishing in 8th. He doesn't improve on his lap, so both myself and my teammate we're going to be taking up that whole 4th row, which isn't too bad considering the amount of people, but it's not the greatest. So here we go in the lap 1. Lights away, and we're off. 15 people in this race. We don't get the best getaway. We're a little off, a little late to the draw. However, going into turn 1 here, we are side by side. I hit the brakes a little too early into the turn. A little bit of bumping going on. I think my teammate gets the bad end of it. As you can see, I saw his tire and part of the wing catch into me. Not looking too bad. We're still in 7th. Teammates in 8th, just a little far behind. Going into that turn, we have a little bit of pace, but a safety car comes out. If you can see there on the mini-map on the bottom left, there are a couple cars that are all messed up. So there was a safety car. Going into it, lasted a few laps, and here we are going back to resume racing. We try to get a little bit of a head start on Grobs next to us, and we do end up being side by side. Going into the first turn, brakes hit, a little collision right there where he tries to take too much of the inside. We do pass him, and the good thing is going into this turn, we have the momentum and the pace on the event right in front of us, who has a 5-second time penalty for that little bump. Completely not his fault, but you know what? It is what it is. We pass him up the inside, and we go straight up in the 5th, which is very lovely considering we're 4 laps in. And this pace is pretty strong, as you can tell off the safety car. We're looking pretty close in the 4th and 3rd, who are having a bit of a scuffle. Hopefully we can move up the table a little bit more. And here we go in the lap 7. Nothing's really changed. We're now facing 4th in front of us on a 5-second time penalty and 6th behind us. Main event and May, both on 5-second time penalties within a second of each other. DRS is out, and our tires are looking very terrible, very bad. We're looking at a point of probably pitting a little early just to be safe on these tires. We'll have to do a 2-stop, probably on the mediums both times. And here comes what is probably the most unfortunate part of this race. Is coming up. We've done a great job. We're securing a lot of points. All the cars are within a good gap. We decide to pit. Tires are on terrible 40%. We should be able to pass May here. I take the pit lane a little too quick, but that's not the big deal. The big deal is that May in front of me happens to be my pit teammate. Even though he's not my actual teammate, he's my pit teammate for this race, which means I had to wait for his entire 5-second time penalty, plus his pit stop, then run my own pit stop, and I still have my 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So I've pretty much just had a double pit stop. That set me back well too far, back into 11th actually. It's unfortunate considering there's only 12 people in this race now at this point. We are looking, and 12 is a whole minute behind us. We're not looking all that great there, but we are looking to make position up. Main event in front of me is on hard tires, which we should be a lot quicker pace on these mediums. Trying to make little turns here. We went a little off limits there. We're hoping that we can take 10th. He takes it really wide, almost as if he allowed us to make that turn. Didn't want to get stuck behind, possibly, I suppose. Wants to save his hard tires right till the end. And we pass him. So we get in the 10th. Not the end of the world. We do have 8 seconds worth of time penalties. But we do have a chance to maybe push on and take on some of the cars ahead of us, hoping we can chase them down a little bit. Lap 14 here, still in 10th. 1 point isn't the worst, however, we have 2 people actually coming into the pit lane. We are able to pass one of them, and the second one is just barely in front of us. Bautista Jose, just in front of us on fresh hard tires, assuming he's going to go right to the end on these hard tires. He should be. And we bump up in the 9th, so doubling our points there. We are now at 2 points. And looking at another pit stop, which is the unfortunate part of being in 9th, close to the end, is that we will have to pit again. And there are 2 people on hard tires, both Bautista and Main Event. So it's not looking the greatest, but we do know these races do have a lot of DNFs, so there is a good chance in front of us to make up a few positions. Now looking at the lap 17 here, where we do have right behind Bautista here. He's picked up a few time penalties, which is good. We've made up a little bit of gap on Siro in the soft tires behind us, and there it is. A big crash. Takes that turn well too far to the outside and crashes out. And it is the perfect time for us to actually have a safety car, because those medium tires that we have on trying to push only lasted us about 10 laps. We go into the pit stop to pit. We do have to take that 5-second time penalty. However, it is under a safety car. So the good news for us is we made up a little bit of that time. We do get to pit on medium tires, and a lot of people did end up pitting on the softs or mediums. Both have their own strengths. But we are hoping that the people that are on softs wear them out a lot quicker, and that we might have a chance to make up a little bit of ground here. So we are in 8th. Everyone's completely ganged up again. We're all in one big cluster. It's a good chance for us to maybe take a couple positions back and maybe make a charge to, I mean, at the good end, make a podium, but to increase our point tally. 8th isn't too bad on 4 points, but we'd like to get as many points as possible in this league. So here we are in lap 20, Jellyfill in front of us on soft tires, hoping that we can maybe tow behind him a little bit and catch the odd person out. My teammate, as you can see on the right there, is lagging out like crazy, which will have a big effect here you'll see here in a couple minutes. It does have a big effect on this race, but we are doing strong lap times here. Obviously the red sectors, as you see, aren't the best, but we do have cars in front of us who are trying to make those hard tires work till the end, as they did on the first pit stop. And we will be getting DRS back, which is good. Everyone's still in a half-decent gap, but it is tough to find that position to pass, especially with my teammate lagging out. It is very tough to make a move because no one wants to make a move into a lagging car and end up going into a barrier and losing the race. So here we are again. Going into that turn, it is very tough. I don't even know if I hit him there. That made him go wide, but we did take that position over him. So we do go in the 7th. Increasing our point tally for ourselves personally, not for the team, but ourselves personally. And he is on hard tires, so we do want to try to get past him on the fresher, faster tires. And hopefully we can make a push onto Jellyfill and Grobs in front of us. But it's not looking very hopeful, is it? So here we are, lap 21. We get to make up a little bit of ground on Grobs, who I believe spun out on an earlier turn. We have him on the outside, going around the outside completely of this turn, fast speed, still around the outside, and we get a little push off from him, trying to keep us off the track. We do manage to overtake him, however, we do roll him that position back, so it only makes sense to try to give that position back immediately and get DRS. Actually, we don't even get DRS on this straight. But to try to get him on the main straight if we can. It is tight going in turn 1. He does have the inside, but he switches a little back to the outside, takes up the middle of the lane, so we don't have a good chance to pass him. However, with DRS coming up, he does get a good getaway here. We have DRS. We try to take him up the inside here. There is a caution flag. I believe someone did spin out. We dive bomb the inside and take that position back from him. He does try to push us out of the way. He does have the inside here. Goes really aggressive. I don't think he liked the dive bomb from earlier. Tries to go really aggressive. Does not work out for him, and we do take that position back. However, we do have a 3-second time penalty. So we do have to make sure that we pass him by 3 seconds if we want to keep 6th place. But 6th or 7th are both looking highly favorable for us right now. And on to the last lap here, where we have him by 1.7 seconds, trying to overtake Jellyfill, hopefully getting a nice little tow, and trying to really increase that lead. We have DRS on this straight, something that he doesn't have because he isn't that close to us. And unfortunately, we take a 3-second time penalty for that the late outside turn, trying to get some room off him. It's not looking very good for us. We have to hope that either he spins out or Jellyfill in front of us manages to make a bad turn and spins himself out. It's not looking very good for us. Yeah, we do end up taking this race in 7th. We don't get to make up enough ground, as I try to dive bomb the inside to scare him a little bit. But we don't end up making up those now 6 seconds of time. So we finished the race in 7th. Not a bad result. We did get a lot of points for this race, valuable points that'll be good for the championship. So thank you very much for watching. This is episode number 2, and we'll be back in a few days with next week's episodes.